Hi everybody, I'm super excited to be live with you guys today. Sorry I wasn't live with you guys yesterday. I'm going to really quickly send this over to my VIP group. Let me get that started. I did post about 2 transfers that came out of the vault today. They are limited supply, limited quantity, so if you want either one of those, please run over to the chalk site and grab them. I am actually going to do the I'm actually going to do the buffalo plaid today with you guys to show you guys how to do a design with that. Hold on just a second. I told you guys I was going to change out. We are no longer going to be doing holiday due to the fact that pretty much everybody has their holiday decor. If you don't, you can still get it from the chalk site. They said the 7th, but then I heard the 14th. So if you want them, hop on over there, grab those while you can. All right, so we are going to do a rustic round. I did paint the rustic round. I painted it white. I taped it off with placement tape and painted the bottom. We're going to use the new, oh my goodness, I have paint all over my hands. We are going to use the new transfer, Perfectly Imperfect. It comes on the ones that say, let me see exactly what that one's called, guys. I'm sorry. It's this C-size transfer, and it is called Exist Loudly. That's also on there, homegrown. And I use sarcasm periodically, but we're going to use the Perfectly Imperfect transfer right through here. And we are going to place the buffalo plaid over top. But let me make sure that this is all completely dry before we do that, because you don't want that to pull up at all. Now, I could paint the back and I could paint the sides. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to paint them all. But you could if you wanted to. This gives me the opportunity to paint the back side if I wanted to. Make sure that everything is dry. I was painting it almost all the way up until I went live. So I'm going to pull this placement tape off of here. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up putting the buffalo plaid over top of the paint. And then we're going to tape it off to put the Perfectly Imperfect on this part. So actually we're going to do the Perfectly Imperfect first in bright white so it matches this white that I painted. I did use, now you can paint with our paste, but I didn't have enough white paste to paint with it. So I used my Deco Art chalk finish paint that I get from the craft store. But let's get started. Let me move you guys down so you guys can see better what I am doing. Okay, so because this is wood, we are going to wax this, especially where we're putting the Perfectly Imperfect. Let's get that waxed because that's protecting the surface and it's protecting your transfer. It protects the surface and makes it so that it doesn't absorb the paste and make it bleed out because wood is porous. So you just want to make sure that you're waxing it enough that you're protecting that whole area. Now, if you're not going to go all the way across, you don't necessarily have to wax all the way across. So that's why I'm not waxing all the way across. I'm going to let that sit for just a second. And we are going to get started. Now, the buffalo plaid is a big transfer. It is a D-size transfer. Don't panic when using a big transfer. They work just as well as our small transfers or smaller transfers. And they're just as easy to use. And I will show you little tips and tricks on how to do that. All right. As always, I'm going to write on the back and do my dash marks just so I know how many uses I get out of that. I loved this one. When I first saw it, I thought Perfectly Imperfect, that is perfect. Not to have that pun there, but All right, so I'm just buffing this off. That just pulls any extra wax that we have. So as always, we are going to fuzz, fuzz, fuzz because we are using paste. And some of our transfers are extremely sticky. So I don't want you to feel like it's you or you're like, it's still sticking too hard. If you feel that it's going to stick down too hard, keep fuzzing. Just fuzz it a little bit more. And the reason I'm doing the wording first is so that one, I can put the tape down so I know exactly where it needs to go. And you could always leave it like that too. You wouldn't have to necessarily put anything over top of it if you didn't want to. If you just wanted to leave it as a rustic round with only the rustic part underneath. But we're going to use peony over top. So it's going to be pink and white. I think this is going to be super, super cute. As always, I can always make designs for you too if you don't want to make them yourself. Just contact me and we can talk about it. I always just feel it and see how sticky it is after doing that a couple times. All right, so we are going to put this off to the side as far over as possible. And I'm going to try and line it up with the actual way that I painted it. I'm going to look at it real quick and just make sure. So my bright white, the reason I didn't paint with it is because look how low it's starting to get. It's scraping bottom. I have some over there, but I didn't realize I had it until after I'd already started painting with the deco art. So there is that. All right. And I've shown you guys how to paint with our paste. Super easy. All you got to do is water it down or use like a baby wipe. You can do it like that too. This would look super cute also on a shirt. The Perfectly Imperfect. I think it would look adorable. All right, gonna pull that up. That turned out really well. Not that I didn't think it would, but you never know, right? I mean, let's be honest. You don't know if you fuzzed it too much. Guys, it happens. But with the wood, all you got to do is sand it down and start over. Sometimes you can even scrape it off quickly if you do it fast enough before it dries. It's pretty warm in my house today, so it's going to dry pretty quickly. I just want to make sure that this is completely dry before I go to put that other transfer over top, because I don't want that transfer to pull anything up. Of course, you could always put a cute little bow up at the top, which I'm actually going to look for one tomorrow. Maybe like a meshy pink bow with maybe even some white on it would be really cute. All right, so let me show you guys so far what we have. Perfectly Imperfect. All right, so this is our transfer. It's a big one. It is big. But I'm going to show you guys to not panic when using a big transfer. Okay, we're going to set this off to the side for just a split second. I'm going to show you guys how to fuzz a larger transfer. I know a lot of people get very intimidated. I'm going to tell you right now, I was the same way. Not going to lie. Super intimidated by big ones. I didn't ever want to do anything bigger than a C. And most of the time, I didn't want to do anything that was solid in C. I wanted to do something that was a cut apart in C. This is an older transfer, so it's not wanting to come out of its package. I'm not sure what is going on there. This was in my retired file because it had been retired. So I did not have, sorry about that. Sometimes they stick when they're older. But I've never used it. So I put it in my retired file. Well, when they told us an impromptu live that they were going to bring this back, I was like, oh boy. So I was like, I got to get this on here. So when you're doing a transfer that is big and you're intimidated by it, don't be. I'm writing on the back, guys. It is super easy to do it, okay? So what I do is I pull it off of its backer sheet like this. I don't do it the other way. I always do it sticky side up, and I pull it off its backer sheet like that, okay? I'm going to show you guys how to fuzz it where you're not going to be so intimidated by that either. So I would just lay my fuzzing cloth down. Lay my fuzzing cloth down, fuzz it like normal, and I pull my fuzzing cloth up. Hold on, it's got my hair in it. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it, right? Okay. So older transfers tend to not be as sticky. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You could pull half of it off its backer sheet and fuzz half of it, and then try fuzzing the other half, if that's how you want to do it. Or you can do it like I'm doing, and doing the fuzzing cloth on top. I tend to do it like this because I personally think it's just easier for me. It's more control. I have better control over the actual transfer. And I have better control over the fuzzing cloth as well. So that is how easy it is. It is not that intimidating. It might feel intimidating because of how big the transfer is. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, D's and E's are not that bad. Most E's are actual pull aparts or cut aparts anyway. All right, so now we're going to pull our surface back down here. And we're going to lay this plaid right over top. And I'm actually going to put placement tape down where I don't want that to be chalked. So our placement tape, I always tell people don't use painter's tape. Don't use it because it will tear that silk screen and you're going to be very upset that that silk screen got torn. Let me stand up so I can actually see this better. I didn't cut enough off, but that's okay. If it's not exactly perfect, that's okay too, because guess what? This says perfectly imperfect, right? So we're good. So how I'm going to do it is I'm actually just going to stop before I get to that point. But we're going to use Peony, which is a really pretty pink. I love this color. And at first I thought, oh no, this is retired. But then I realized, no, it's not. It's available. So you guys totally can get this. And then you're just going to chalk it like you would normally any other transfer. It works just as well. You just want to work relatively quickly. Now, you could use our larger squeegee, our handle squeegee, if you wanted to. If that makes it easier for you, go right on ahead and do that. What we're going to do is we're going to get this on, and then we're going to pull it off enough that I can get it to not dry, and I don't want it to dry on the transfer. And then when we go to pull it up, that silk screen is going to pull it with it. We don't want that, obviously. So we're going to do this relatively quickly. I'm already seeing it drying. So just trying to get, no. I don't want the placement tape pulling up. So if you were going to do this with the handheld squeegee, I would tell you to just blob the paste onto the transfer and then go over top with the handheld squeegee. You could totally do that. And then just pull all the extra off as you're chalking. Let's pull this up. And this is one of my favorite colors to use also for like breast cancer awareness. I think it's a perfect color. I'm just going to drop that. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to pull it completely off, but we're going to work on this part down here. And obviously, you're going to see that it's not, there's not a lot to cover down here. I have a little tiny spot right there. I just want to make sure I'm getting it so that it looks uniformed. And of course I have paste on my hands, because why wouldn't I? All right. So there is that design. Super, super cute, guys. Super cute. Using the buffalo plaid, which is limited availability, guys. Limited. And I mean limited. It's not going to last forever. So if you love buffalo plaid, this is super cute. This can be put up for spring. This can be put in the bedroom. This can be given to anybody. I mean, you can change the colors to whomever or however you want to do it. I did notice I put some paste right there, so I will clear that off. But we have this super cute design. All right. I'm going to lift that up real quick so I can show you guys, so you're not so intimidated by that bigger transfer. Look how cute that is, right? It turned out super cute. And I love the Rustic Rounds. They're amazing. They're double-sided, so you can do so many different projects with them. And they fit inside a lot of wreaths. I use them a lot of times to put inside a wreath. I absolutely love that. And they're super cute just by themselves. Or if you wanted to add like a bow up on top with maybe some greenery, if that's how you wanted to do it, you totally could do that. So there is the Perfectly Imperfect Rustic Round. I love it. I think it's absolutely adorable. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm going to put the link. It will now be up in the top of this video. It will no longer be in comments for at least the next 2 weeks. I'm doing a little experiment. And so it will be put in the description of the video up at the top. So, yes, I love how it turned out too. Thank you, Shawnee. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys here for another Couture design tomorrow. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.